Today we're sitting down on the porch with Elizabeth, a QHS member whose life is as heartwarming as a home-cooked meal. What paths did she follow to get to where she is today? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and see what's been cooking behind the scenes.
Hi, thanks for watching my prequel. I'm Elizabeth. I was born in the 60s. My dad's family was German. They came from Germany to the United States probably in the 30s. And my dad was the last one born in the United States. Live in Northwest Ohio. Grandfather was French Canadian, and her mom was probably English and German, and maybe Native American. My dad was a photographer. Met my mom. She was a secretary, and so they got married and had my sister first, just two girls, and had a pretty good childhood in the younger years. My dad he loved nature and animals, and he loved to photograph nature and animals. He was a commercial photographer, but I remember being really young and going to a park that was near our home, and he would say that was his church, and that God made everything there, and that you don't have to go to a church that a building that man-made. You could go to nature where God made it, and so that meant a lot to me. It's been a good memory throughout my life, and so things got bad when my dad was an alcoholic. He was having trouble with his business, and so it caused a lot of problems with him and my mom, and so it was scary for me and my sister because they would have really bad fights, and my mom would have to call the police sometimes, and so my mom decided to divorce him like in the mid-70s, and I think I was 9 or I remember I was always shy and to myself, kept to myself a lot, and probably attracted bullies because of that type of personality. And I was little, and so anyway, when my dad started struggling, I remember him saying he didn't have any money, and that I offered to give him my college fund, and he said he had already spent it. So that was a turning point for me to really make sure I was financially, to get a job and, take care of myself. And so he eventually died, probably going into 7th grade and 9th grade for my sister. And so that was really hard with me and my sister and my mom, and we struggled financially. And so my mom got really motivated into like alternative health. And so she was really influenced our lives, because she took us to the chiropractor. We were really young and didn't take us to medical doctors. She was against shots and everything. And so we learned, me and my sister we'd get upset because she didn't buy junk food anymore. And but we really, that was our lifestyle, to be healthy. And when I was in high school, I decided to, I always wanted to be like a dancer or gymnast, and we didn't really have the money or the time to do it. So I decided that it didn't cost any money to just have running shoes on and just go outside and run. And that really built my confidence in high school. And so I would go jogging, and I decided to become a vegetarian because I love animals so much. And I looked into the health reasons too, and I just thought it was ethical. And I'm not against anybody who eats meat, or I have eaten some since then. I was only 16, so I made that choice. I just try to have compassion and ethics with everything I do, plants and animals that I love. And so I was really still motivated to make money, and I worked jobs and stuff. And then I wanted to really have enough of like a career, and I didn't really know how to do it with college because I didn't have some of my friends were staying, their parents paid for them to stay at college and go to college, so I couldn't afford to do that. And I had a job as a green inspector when I was 18, and one of the guys I worked with said, "Why don't you get into an apprenticeship?" And so I also at the time started working out, and wanted to have a strong physical body, mind, body, and spirit. I wanted really healthy in every aspect. And so I started working out. I did compete in a bodybuilding contest when I was 20 years old, and it was really scary for me because I'm shy, but I wanted to overcome my fears, and I was glad that I accomplished that. And so then when I talked to the guy at work about apprenticeship, I looked into that, and I got into an apprenticeship for plumbers and pipe fitters, and that was in 1988. And I just retired from that. Did it for 32 years, and it was really a good career. It was a great choice. I worked hard and worked in the cold, and there was some men didn't want women there and that kind of thing. But I really, once they see that I was serious about working and learning, and I did my job, I really didn't have any problems. And I actually have some really good friends from my job. And so after I went through my apprenticeship, I got married, and I had my son Jesse. He's my only child. It was a tumultuous marriage, so we divorced when my son was 5. So when my son was 3, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And since I had such a background with natural health, I was very driven to do everything we could to help him overcome it, or just to be as healthy as he could be. And he went to our chiropractor, went to naturopath. We did essential oils, and he really did well. He was always on really low amounts of insulin. It's really scary for any parent that has a child with diabetes. You're scared they're going to go too low. You're scared they're going to go too high and have problems in the future. And so Jesse was born in 93, and he was doing pretty good. He moved to Florida, and he loved it there. And I visited him there, and he has 2 little girls, my granddaughters. And he was so happy there. And then COVID hit, and he got sick. And so a friend of ours watched the girls, and he had to go to the hospital, and I was here in Ohio, and I was really scared. It was in 21, and so I called everyone that like the frontline doctors, everyone, because I was really worried about him being there. So he ended up deciding to leave after 3.5 days, and he get through it, but they must have given him remdesivir, I think, because a couple months later he was diagnosed with kidney failure, and so he moved back to Ohio, and he's I've his caregiver. We were going to do a kidney transplant because we just it's been really hard, and I was going to donate my kidney because I'm attached to him, and it's very scary to decide that because of everything in the hospital situation. But we didn't want to, get something that had been, just in the shot, and so just felt like that was the best decision. And so we during this time when we were waiting and going through all the testing and different things, I found a friend neighbor that does enhanced energy systems scalar. We tried that, didn't really see much of a difference, a little bit, and we went to Dr. Sherry Tenpenny's and did her EECT, enhanced external counterpulsation. We did we went to Texas to see one of the frontline doctors because also his eyes went bad, and his I think that was some of the medication. So it was really a scary time. We didn't know who to turn to because the doctors were pretty hostile towards him for the shot situation, and he was denied. Originally, he was denied a transplant because of shot status, because against that. But so during this whole time, I followed Dr. Christiane Northrup. She would always talk so highly of Alex Collier. I never heard of him, and so I looked for him once and I didn't find him. And then the one day, a little over a year ago, she was saying she was going to be on a podcast with him and Dr. Lee Merritt. So I tuned in, and I was so happy with everything they talked about. And when Alex said every Friday he has his podcast, so I tuned in, and I was so fortunate to hear him speak of device, the V6, and I was really hopeful, and I did everything I could to search with QHS, and I immediately joined. I became a member. I got my son to be a member, and so now we are on our way to true healing, and I'm so thankful to be with people that are like me, and that there's answers for other and hope. And I'm just very excited, and I'm so happy for all the people, because I'm really empath. I'm very compassionate about when I see other people, and when I take my son to his treatments, and I just see their eyes and I feel bad. I want to help them, and so I feel really excited for the future. And I also have had a little bit of my own problem. I'm pretty healthy most of my life, but during 2020 I had something happen with my head. I have head pressure, I have migraines, and I think during my job I had, I'd carry heavy pipes on my shoulder and just different things with my neck, and I have head pressure, so I haven't really been able to sleep very well for the last 4 years. I can't really lay down. I get head pressure, and I've done a lot of things too just to help with that, the natural holistic things. tried a little bit of medical, and didn't really see much results, but the devices are helping me tell, and so I would love to be a part of, I know about safety. I know about a lot of different construction since I did it for 32 years. So what if that would come in handy with anything in QHS? I would be really blessed to help with that. I've always, like I said, when I was little, I wanted to dance or do something. Maybe I could take dance lessons in my future. I like swing dancing. I love watching them, and I would love to. I have 5 dogs. I have 2 cats. I have chickens and ducks. I live on out in the country, and I'd love to be able to be more active. A lot of times I throw the ball and then I have a problem the next day, and so that's things I'm looking forward to. Also, that's about it, and thank you for watching, and God bless.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.